All right, hello. It says I'm live. I didn't pop up on mine over here, but it says that I'm live. Anybody out there? Hello? 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 Okay, okay. Okay, we're here. Hi, I see me on my tab, so that's a good sign.
Okay, we're here.
Ah,
Hi,
and my
I see me on my
playback.
tab, so that's a good sign. Okay, we're here.
All right, let me mute that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kate's Plate Live on this Sunday, 6 o'clock here in beautiful Kate Plate home. I thought today we could watch this. I have this on all the time. It has like chill wave music with it, but it's just like a bunch of old video games. It's like a really cool stream to watch. Hey, Mike. Good to see you, man. I don't really have anything to discuss today. I just kind of wanted to get live and just chat with y'all. Things have been popping. A couple of you guys know that this week's been bleh for me. I think a lot of people this week has just been icky. Not so much even like politically, just ew, life stuff in general. But I was supposed to go live yesterday, but I just didn't feel like it. I got some pretty pretty crappy news about just like a couple things in my life that just keep happening, like um, just like crappy news. But that's all right. I spent the rest of the evening just kind of like dissecting, going through it, hanging out with Rome and Rome's chat and all that kind of stuff. So, getting through it, getting through it. Um, but last night, I do have one thing I do want to talk about for sure. Last night, I saw Thunderbolts, the MCU movie, finally. I waited to see it at home because I wasn't really going to go watch it out and about. Um, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good for what it was. I really enjoyed all the performances. Really liked the angle of the story. It was not like your typical like super action punchy type of story. It had like real heart to it, which sometimes these movies can lack like really bad. And so it was good for me to watch that last night too, especially with the crappy news I got. It just kind of they just kind of worked. Sir, I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do this with my setup here in my living room. I just kind of film on my phone and then have my tablet for chat. Um, Yesterday I was on, well, I did do a live yesterday for about, I don't know, about 30 minutes, and then my phone died, and I couldn't figure out how to do it, and I wasn't in the best mood, so I just was like, okay, delete, get this out of here. Um, but I figured out how to set up a live today and schedule it for the right time. So I am learning. Um, Slowly but surely. But yeah, Thunderbolts, good movie. I really enjoyed it because it was like really like set apart from other MCU movies. Um, I enjoyed Fantastic Four. I liked it. I wanted to love it. Like really wanted to love that movie because I enjoy the older ones, and I like Matt Chapman, who was the director of WandaVision, who directed Fantastic Four. I like his retro um, way that he makes his art. Like the first couple of WandaVision episodes are so fun and so good because um, just like heading back into the 50s and Nick at Night and I Love Lucy, stuff like that. It just felt like a real sweet home for me. And so I was very upset what they did with Wanda's character in Doctor Strange 2. However, when you look at that and you read the production of that, the two things they weren't really on board with each other. Um, but what I will say about Thunderbolts is I actually would love a sequel. I'd love a sequel to just those characters. I was thinking about this because they're going to enter into like Doom and all the stuff with MCU coming up with these next couple movies, which I don't have any interest in seeing. And that's so shocking to me. I used to be such an MCU girly, but just Robert Downey Jr. back, like, I just feel like that's just off. Just like, maybe, there are certain times and seasons for things. Maybe the season of my comic book loving movie life is finding the fall, if you will. Hi, Ryan. It's nice to meet you, if I haven't met you before. Yeah, we're just here hanging out, talking about whatever chat wants to bring up. Nothing too political, please. But last week was a doozy. It was just really hard to just watch and see and have not be in the conversation. But like, I tried to keep myself out of the conversation, but the conversation just kept pulling yourself in, and I wanted just to step out of it. So I did make this silly post that was like, I know things are like really like this, like, I've heard a lot of rhetoric today about these things, and the number one priority on my mind is, why is there not a honey ranch, like a honey mustard? If you ever mix ranch and honey together with chicken, it's really good. And so I was kind of just snacking on that, and I thought I'll just make a ironic kind of post about that. And oh boy, people were like, what is that? What is that talking about? And I just was like, I just a little bit of trolling. Oh my gosh, thank you, Polar. Oh man, that is a hand-me-down from my mother-in-law. And we've had it ever since we moved here. Lots of hand-me-downs in my home, but that's okay. But I like brand new furniture, and like the way that things are made now, it's like sleek and just all edges, like I like soft. Like I like my furniture and things in my house to be like comfort filling, not so much just like really like not shifty, but just like really like straight edge. Yeah, Mike. So yeah, let's talk a little bit of Marvel. Let's get into it. So chat, we're gonna talk about Marvel. I'm not gonna do spoilers for movies that have come out this year, and I haven't seen Captain America 4. But I just think that's a lot. It's like so much. I know they want to do this for the storyline of breaking all these things apart to push them back together, and then our new X-Men, are going to jump off of there. But I think it's so exhausting still to just try to be a fan of these movies when, like, movies shouldn't really feel like homework. I like when movies have a thread that, these comic book movies are a television story, and then they opened up actual TV series that interweave with the television story they're trying to tell through cinema. We'll see. We'll see, man. I'm just interested who they're going to cast as X-Men characters. A lot of people thought that Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, she was going to be Jean Grey. I mean, she has the red hair. And if they want to focus on early X-Men, they're like the early X-Men team. She's there with Scott and Beast and Storm. Maybe not Storm, but I know that they're kind of like, they were the first students. Also, not for nothing, but X-Men 97 was perfect. And I think that opening your X-Men door there, you put the bar so high. I love that series. I really got back into like animation with that series, and then a couple of other ones on Netflix that I really like. But I just think the world, it wants new, and this is what we talked about in my weapons review. New IP, new stories. Horror movies have been doing so good this fall, summer, whatever. This year, actually, the whole year has been filled with really chock full, emotional, character-driven movies that also are scary or have a scary bent to them, or like a traditional horror movie that really focuses on character. I think that we are so much more interested in that now than trying to keep up with 37 movies of comic books. And the box office says that too. And so I'll be really interested to see what Doomsday looks like. And I also am so curious at like Christmas time. They moved it because it was supposed to come out summer of next year, but they moved it to like December. Like the Avengers to me is summer, you know, like Christmas movies. Like that's a strange place to put that, but they think they had to push it. Crazy news from the set, people getting into arguments or people not getting into arguments, whatever. But I just feel like there's so much pressure to make this right and get this done correctly so they can just scrap it all and start with their X-Men. I think that it's like really, it's going to show in the performances and it's going to show on the screen. So to me, like, I'm just like, how are we going to be able to like, oh, you know, just, and that's just me as like a movie entertainment super fan, pop culture gal. Like your regular person on the street is not going to be so invested in that idea. They just want to go see like an Avengers movie with all their favorite characters from their past and the old X-Men and probably all the old Avengers. Anyone who says they're not coming for this movie, don't believe them. Everyone's going to be in this. It's going to be such a stew of people. But releasing in December, I think, is strange. And just rushing through trying to get to the next part of the story, I just feel like, I don't think that was their plan ever. I think that with the whole Kane situation, and I think that the reception from the audience, they were just like, okay, like, we need to move forward with this, we need to go, go, go. And like, you lose a lot of that in the transition. That's me. Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen would have been a great Doom. He was totally wasted in Doctor Strange. He came back, that character came back in an animated episode for What If, and I liked him so much more in that animated episode than I did in his movie. But yeah, Robert being back, so strange. And what's really funny about that, Mike, is there could still be a possibility. There could be another Doctor Doom. The only one that we know is Robert coming back. But if this is all like multiverse hooey wooey, like there could be multiple Dooms. I thought Cillian Murphy would be great out of it. I thought that would be a perfect role for him. But you know, when you win an Oscar, like you're all those doors open for you, right? And I'm just surprised that. Well, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that he doesn't want to go the comic book route. But I thought that he'd fit really well into that role. The fact that they picked his co-star from Oppenheimer, I was like, oh wow. Strange world. Mike, you know, I trusted the Russo brothers too. I did, but they always said they wanted to come back for these movies. They always said that. So anytime there was any other name drop for these movies, I knew that I was like, that's just something to throw out there. When they go to the Russo brothers, back up the truck of money, and say, hey, those movies you wanted to do, that when you wanted to come back, yeah, we're doing them, and we need you. We need your Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity, Endgame, all of that. We need that momentum back. But the thing is, the directors are coming back, but both of the writers, Marcus and McFeely, they wrote pretty much everything the Russo brothers did for the MCU, but only one of those writers is coming back to write this one. And I'm curious if it's I can definitely tell who they are. I've seen interviews with them, so I know which one is who. but I'm curious. One of them is like kind of like satirical and sarcasm, and the other one really has all like the really heavy hitting lines. They work together that way. They build their scripts, they work them, mix it in. So I think the one that does like the really heavy hitting, like emotional parts of those movies, I think he's coming back to write them. So again, curious what that's going to look like. Are these movies going to be as funny or as charming as Infinity War? Because like the first hour of Infinity War is so good. I like Infinity War better than Endgame. I just think it's a stronger movie. And the fight at the end of Endgame gets a little much. So that's why I'm concerned about Secret Wars and Doomsday, because I'm like, so many characters, everybody doing something at once. That's what I liked about Thunderbolts last night. It took their time with every character. You really got to know like their backstory and what's driving them, and characters that like were just like almost throwaway villains in movies, like what's her name, Ghost. She was in Ant-Man 2. She was great in this movie. She's a great actress. They just gave her so much more to do here. Just like that steady commitment of character building and not just like everything, just like throwing the spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I also think the pressure of this movie it's there. It's a hot point. Disney and their executives have come out and talked about how they made too much MCU, and then they were like, you know, we want quality now, not so much quantity. They threw out all these TV shows. She-Hulk was unwatchable, and that's from me. As someone I was a moderator for like a review show, and I had to stay up till 4:00 to watch the show with my friends and moderate the chat and everything, and I did it, but where are we going from that? You know, like when are we ever gonna see that character again? I liked her a lot better as just Jessica Walters. I didn't really like her as the She-Hulk. So they talked about how they were trying to get back on the path, because anyone that talks about the entertainment industry or listens to entertainment news, Marvel, MCU, comic book movies, the rhetoric this whole year has been like, are they in trouble? Are they done? Are we not interested? Yes, that role is pure. Yeah. No spoilers, chat, but I totally agree with what Mike said. And the promotional and marketing side of the Thunderbolts drove me insane, because when they released that they were called, again, spoilers, because the movie came out on Friday, the MCU themselves released that the asterisk means they're the new Avengers. And I was so hot and so ticked off, I was like, I'm not going to see this in theaters, because how dare you? But the fact that she's like in the promotional, oh my gosh, she's like, there's so much just like, it just looks like they just CGI into posters and stuff. I just was like, you guys aren't kidding anybody. You're not fooling anyone. Didn't even watch it, Mike. Haven't even seen a single frame of it. I know what happens at the beginning, and I know like the storyline through it, but it's like, I don't think the public have ever really gone for Skrulls. I don't think like Captain Marvel, I mean, they're in there and they're important to the story, but I just like the idea of that it's such a cop out. The idea that you could just like shapeshift into anybody, and then anybody could be and you didn't know that certain characters were Skrulls at the time. Like, to me, that's just like there's no. How do we have stakes in people if we don't know if it's really them or they're just like a green alien? They just didn't ever build that up well. Hey Eve, it's good to see you. We're just talking about MCU and Marvel and movie news and different things like that. open for suggestions and chat for things to talk about. I don't have like a ton of time tonight, since I don't really have an agenda, but I wanted to hop on and say hello since I wasn't to yesterday. Thank you for everyone who's like reached out and commented on the videos, liked the videos, subscribed, all that. I told a few of my coworkers that I started to live stream, and I told them basically I just started my podcast again, and they were really supportive and excited to hear that. I was like, heck yeah, man. I don't know if it's their jam, like what I talk about, but I just was like, feels really good. The confidence it gives me just like gets me through the week and stuff. I say and stuff as much as Kevin Smith. And I always, every time I hear him talk and he says like, and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, it's so annoying. Don't get a sentence like that. But here I am doing the same thing. I like Captain Marvel. I like the character. Like the movie. It's just one I never go back to. I just never rewatch it. I never like watch people do reactions to it. I'm happy it made as much money as it did, and because it was in between two mega movies. Haven't seen the Marvels. I like all the actresses in it. But nothing to do with that. There's just so much, and I really had to like pick and choose like what to like pay attention to. One day Jeff and I will watch the Marvels because I loved Miss Marvel and Kamala. Yes, I think that's her pronunciation. She's a revelation. That actress is fantastic, and she is new blood in the industry, and she loves being there. She loves doing her work, and I'm sure she steals the show. We just haven't gotten to it. And then I loved the character from WandaVision, Monica's daughter, or no, Monica, Maria's daughter. I loved her. Like, there's a scene in WandaVision where she kind of, no spoilers, but her powers kind of get activated, and it's one of the most like it brings a tear to my eye even thinking about it. Just one of the most important images to see of just like a strong black woman, and I wanted to like that character so much more towards the end, but she's just kind of like that story kind of fell apart to me in WandaVision, but we'll get to it one day. That's really good, Eve. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I haven't even watched Ironheart. I know what happened at the end and what character was revealed and everything like that, which had been spoiled years ago. Like, we all knew that this actor was going to pop up. Again, just another one I just got to get to. It's just, I just don't find myself so just like running to the TV to watch these shows or running out to the movies to see these stories. However, Eyes of Wakanda, I watched the first 3 episodes. There's only one more I need to finish. And I watched that as soon as I could because of Mark Bernardin. He is a podcaster. He's a writer, television writer, comic books. He was a journalist. But he's Fat Man Beyond with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin. They have their podcast. My favorite podcast. I will stay up till 2 o'clock on a work night just to listen to them talk. And he wrote 2 of the episodes, and so I had to go support him. And those are fantastic stories. The idea of having Wakandan war dog, like spies out there through time. Like, there was an episode that was set like in 1400s like Asia. It was really smart, different, and I love the world of Wakanda. Black Panther is my favorite MCU movie. So anytime I get to jump back into that world, that means so much to me. Wakanda Forever was extremely hard to watch. There wasn't pretty much a second where I wasn't crying into my mask, because that was back in COVID times where I wasn't going to a theater and putting my mask on. And I would love to see more in the Black Panther world. As much as I want Ryan Coogler to direct his own things. Like I'd love him to come back for the last one and just like send out that story as as proper as possible. I don't know if I'll ever be able to watch Wakanda Forever through the whole thing again. The twists and turns in that movie and what they do to some characters is just like somebody said this, and I'm not coming up with this on the spot, but somebody said that this phase of Marvel, aka Phase 4, is about grief, and it's about returning after the events of Infinity War. It's about loss, and most of the projects that were in that phase were about moving on, acceptance, grief. What is grief but love persevering? One of the most beautiful sentences. And so it was wonderful to wrap up that phase, if that's the theme of that phase, with such a just emotionally driven movie, and all the actors were so good, and they were so on point, and they did that for Chadwick, and they did that for his legacy, and they took their grief and they took the character's grief and they put it together. It made something beautiful. But just, I'm excited. I'm hoping that the next one will just kind of bring that brightness back into Wakanda, that world. Did I see Kevin Smith's He-Man? He got a lot of flack for it and cried. Never really watched it. No, I did. Because Mark Bernardin wrote an episode of that too. And so I watched the first part of it. The first part where he got all of the reaction, if you will. Like, hi, Bill. Bill just hopped in chat, and we're talking about He-Man and the Kevin Smith's He-Man, and I know a lot of fans just kind of felt like he didn't do the material right. They didn't want to see the female protagonist in the role, but I think that at the end of that story, I do think that He-Man returns in like the second part, but I just think that people were just so ready just to jump all over it and hate it. There are 100% YouTube sites out there that all their brand is to hate something. No positive thumbnail, nothing positive in thumbnails, nothing positive to talk about the movie, because that's their brand, that's their viewers, that's how they get their algorithm out there. For the record, that'll never be a case. That's not something this channel is interested in. I like to have perspective and different viewpoints on everything entertainment. But like I think a lot of those fans were just loaded for bear, and as soon as it didn't play out the way they wanted to, like they just, you gotta get those clicks, you gotta get those headlines out there, we gotta get these stories, but, and I think that was totally unfair to Kevin. But when you become, the storyteller and the showrunner of something, you take on, that's yours, you take that to bear. I would love to see him do something else in the animated world, though. Like another, I watched Kevin so much and hear him talk so much. He loves the character Jim from the 80s. Like she's a pop star, but then like she's something else, or something like that. I would love to see him do like a Jim reboot, and just like his style of writing. I think that'd be cool. Cause yeah, animated shows for me, like we've been watching Inside Job on Netflix. Absolutely love it. We've been catching up with. I got one more episode of Wakanda. We watched all of this show called Exploding Kittens. I think it's Exploding Kittens or Exploding Cats, which is just it's so freaking funny. We watched the whole season of that. We finished up the new reboot of King of the Hill, which I loved. It's great. I love seeing Hank Hill in the 21st century like this. It's just wow. And I thought that it was going to be a little bit more. I thought that he's going to be a little bit more like tough around the edges, but he's definitely grown as a character, Hank Hill. But I think that um, if you can't push him to be too much because like we need to keep him like how we knew him in the show. Um, but no, we love that, and I'm excited. I hope they do a season 2. I will say the first couple episodes of the first 9, I think, because there's 10. The first 9 episodes of the King of the Hill reboot are fantastic, great. Can rewatch, will rewatch them again. The last episode was kind of flat, and I'm curious if they knew they were coming back for another season, or so they kind of just like wrote kind of a flat episode to like be in the middle of this new revival. But everything up into that episode I thought was just great. I love Mike Judd. I love Greg Daniels. I love when they work together. A lot of the writing staff from King of the Hill worked on The Office with Greg Daniels. And you can tell, like when I go back and watch the old episodes of King of the Hill, like the way that they set up jokes and the way that they're not a joke, they're just two people speaking to each other. Like, oh, like that's Paul Lieberstein. That's Toby. That's the way he writes. Okay, Bill, I like that take. Thank you. He says it had nothing to do with the female protagonist. It was the fact he didn't get the characters right. Yeah, so I think that's a big part too. Like the super fans of this world, like let's take okay. So if in 25 years when they reboot Stranger Things, and if I'm lucky enough to be here, I will watch it. It won't be my Stranger Things. It'll be that Stranger Things. I'm not one to sit and be like, oh, they ruined my Stranger Things in 25 years because it's not what I love. But if they took the Stranger Things characters and for some reason stuck them in like, I don't know, if they titled it Stranger Things and they promoted it as Stranger Things, but they made it something completely different, then yes, I can totally understand not appreciating it and vibing with that thing that you love so much. And I mean, when I was really nervous to see Beetlejuice 2, because Beetlejuice is my favorite movie since I was 4. And I got there, I got in my seat, and I just was like, okay, this is a sequel, this is new, this is not the same thing that I love with all my heart. And I walked into that movie theater experience recognizing that and checking myself at the door, and I love that movie because it was the world, but just the world 35 years from when the first movie. Samurai Jack, heard good things. I know that a lot of anime stuff is just like popping, in ways that in theatrical ways. Like we had that K-pop Demon Hunter movie do so well, and then I think the #1 movie this weekend is gonna be I think it's called Demon Slayer. I think that's from an anime cartoon. That's also I love seeing that in theaters. Again, just like changing it up a little bit, different stories, different type of media, different type of animations. It's so important to not just have your standard, just basic, run of the mill, just everybody likes it kind of movies. Like that's good for the summer, like summer blockbusters. Like you go in there and turn your brain off. But I think crowds now are. I wouldn't say they're at a more. I was almost about to say that I think crowds are more intelligible now, and I was like, I couldn't because of the public and something that Mike said in our chat today, and I thought about it. I was like, no, it's people are getting dumb. But I think that moviegoers and people that like to frequent cinemas, I think that they want a challenge. They want to put themselves in something that's not just like another Jurassic Park or a Jurassic World movie. Where those movies do great, but again, just like turn your brain off type of movie. Where I think more people, they want to have those conversations. Like I saw Weapons over a month ago, and I still have so much more to talk about it. I talked about it for an hour and 40 minutes, and I still have so much to go over. I believe that too, Bill. I think some things should not be remade. Um, but studios and these writers and stuff, like, we are so stuck in the past. Oh man, like, we want, I don't know what we want. I want new. I want challenge. I want conversation. So many movie theaters and movie theater people want comfort and just kind of the same story fed to them over and over, which that's them. You know, that's how they enjoy entertainment. You know, I can't. Let's see. I'm trying to think about what's the last like summer blockbuster movie that I went to just to have a great time. And I wasn't like a super fan or like I'm so invested in this, just to like just kick back. Okay, well, no, I was gonna say Barbie, but I wanted to see what that story looked like. Um, Here's a fun fact. I did the whole Barbenheimer thing. I saw Oppenheimer opening Sunday weekend, and I saw Barbie that next Saturday. So I did it in like 7 days. I think that's still an okay window. Fun fact about me, I walked out of Oppenheimer with a more positive attitude than when I walked out of Barbie. Because for me, Barbie ended in such a depressing way. I just was like, and then but Oppenheimer left me leave with just the audacity of hope, just the challenge of believing. Instead of Barbie ended on a just kind of this like, and as the world turns, like think most things stay the same. New isn't guaranteed to succeed, totally. Movies can be cinema. Cinema can be art, but most of the time it's just a stamp factory. Just the same thing over and over and over because that's where your profits go into. Oh, here's something we can talk about movie entertainment news. I saw this report and I watched a couple of podcasters talk about it. Paramount wants to buy Warner Brothers. Like, first of all, Paramount, whoever owns this company, like, so much money. I think it's a terrible idea for the business. What's going to happen is we're going to have a Batman versus Transformers movie. Nobody wants that. I mean, do people want that? And I also think, like, why did we learn about monopolies and antitrust laws and stuff in school when obviously these things are not coming into play? If you're even having a discussion of a huge studio buying out arguably a bigger studio, because I think of Warner Brothers, Disney, Universal, Paramount, okay? Those are the top four. But Warner Brothers, for me, and Disney, they've always been the competition. But I always think of Warner Brothers over Paramount. That's just nuts. Hi, Jordan. For an acting career? Okay. I mean, make sure he's okay with that first. Jordan, what's up? We're just hanging out. I'm not going to be here long. I really don't have much to talk about. We talked about Thunderbolts a little bit earlier, about MCU, just movie news in general, just how everybody wants the same thing. There's been so many Air Bud movies, and I know a lot of them like are streaming or like went straight to DVD. But like I heard of, there's a new one that's like just. It goes back to the original idea of the first movie, but just like in such like a way that it's just almost, it's the same movie every movie. God. Oh, how's everybody's weekend? Everybody's having a good weekend? Party on? If you guys just jumped in, I'm watching it's a channel that plays chill wave music, but they also just show like random clips of video games from the past, and it's really just fun to sit here and just like watch. We do wish that they would tell us the name of the game that they have clips of somewhere. Like they have the names of the music, but I think it'd be cool to know like what game that is, because a lot of them, my husband who's a gamer, a lot of them he can pick out because it's stuff he's played before or stuff that he's like heard of before. But for me, it's all just brand new, except unless it's like Mortal Kombat or like they have some Harry Potter games in here. I know those. Think about all the movies. Like, remember the Beethoven movies with the dog Beethoven? I just remember one of the kids from Step by Step was in that family, and I think that's the reason I watched it, but I don't think I liked it. And then, isn't there a movie with John Lithgow and like a Bigfoot character that came out in the 90s, or is that just a fever dream? Oh, speaking of that, Mike, how are you feeling? Hope better. That is a nuts movie. Angels in the Outfield. Oh my gosh. I was so grateful. I grew up in a house where I didn't have to watch those movies. Like movies I watched when I was younger, like Only You, Heart and Souls. I watched Nobody's Fool with Paul Newman. Again, like my parents were a little bit older, so like when I came around, they were just kind of like Burnout City. So they're like, yeah, you can watch this Nobody's Fool movie with me. It's like, okay. But I'm really grateful for that because it gave me a good movie taste. It gave me such appreciation for quality. It is really fun though to watch those old movies. I went during in 2020. I watched a bunch of like the Renaissance Disney movies, like The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Pocahontas. Um, oh, perhaps a little bit tipsy, perhaps, and just watching those movies, like my childhood movies, just in like such a new perspective. I'm just like halfway through Pocahontas, I just decided that was my new favorite movie, and I was like, oh wait, no, this movie's awful. Towards the end, it's a good musical, terrible story, not true at all. But like halfway through it, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot how good this was. Night at the Roxbury's, no. No. I would say my favorite SNL movie is Wayne's World. Yeah, definitely Wayne's World. Party time, excellent. Wayne's World 2 is okay. And don't even think about making a Wayne's World 3, please, not now. Again, what we talked about, like I don't need to see those characters and they're at this state. Not for me. I made soup tonight. I made chicken sausage and chickpea soup with spinach in it. It looks good. I haven't had any yet, but I just haven't really felt like cooking the last couple of days. But I was like, you know what? It's gonna make me feel better. It's gonna make me feel better to talk to my people. Just do it. Well, I think wasn't there a point where Mike and Dana they weren't friends for a while? Like that, I don't really know, but I saw like they had like they came back together recently. So uh, the only way that I would want a Wayne's World 3 is if Mike and Dana wrote it together. I think you have to like have that team like create like this story. But the thing about Wayne's World is, since we're here live streaming, and the concept is that it was a public show, a public access show in their basement. Like everybody does Wayne's World now. I could call this Kate's World. Kate's World. Kate's World. Party time. Excellent. So I think like just the idea of the story is more present than ever. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hi, Rome. Hello. Welcome. I also, whatever happened to Chris Kattan? Like he was funny. I think he might be kind of difficult to work with though. I think I've heard a couple of stories where he was just kind of like maybe not the best guy on set, but and that really has a, oh my god, you get bad word of mouth from other co-members or cast stars, and that can really follow you for a long time. There's a lot of very talented people who just don't work a lot because of that, and that's a shame. Hi Rome, we're just sitting here talking about movies, just enjoying Sunday. I'll probably be on here for about another 15 minutes. I've just rambling on. Sing my song. We're watching, this is like a chill wave music, and they play different clips of video games just kind of randomly. It's real fun. Just something to look at. I got a compliment about my dresser, which I love. Thank you. That was so sweet. And I've been grateful, and Jerome has been so generous. He sent me a couple of different ideas for like, just like cover art and stuff like that, and I like them. I just need to like go in and do that stuff. I'm on my phone, I'm on my tablet. Like most of the clerical stuff I do with my videos are on my desktop. I still have a desktop. I love it. Oh, Chad, I have a question for you. We were kind of talking about this, like a long time ago. Has anybody seen, so I love Will Ferrell movies. Okay, Step Brothers is my third favorite movie. I love Anchorman. I love the movie Welcome to Me. It is it's a Will Ferrell production. And that show is awesome because I love that movie. Basically, a lady named Alice, she has borderline personality disorder. She wins the lottery, and the only thing she wants to do is have a TV show talking about her life. And she has the money to pull it off, and so they have this whole production of her life and things that she went through. And I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that reminds me so much of someone I see in the mirror. Love that movie. That movie does not get talked about enough. It came and went in theaters, but it's a dark comedy. I mean, like there's some dark moments in it, but it's so good. But anyway, I was curious, has anybody seen the Sherlock Holmes and Watson movie that John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell did together? I want to watch it, but I've heard it is so bad, not even fun bad, that it's just such a slog, waste of time. I don't even know where to watch it, but like one day, talking about movies to like drink to, one day I would like to just like have a night off and just like fall into that movie and just see just like how much of it I can watch. Yeah, but Welcome to Me, oh man, I have a poster in my in my bedroom. And I mean, it's really representational of kind of where the world is now. Everybody having a podcast or everybody live streaming or whatever. But it came out in like 2015, so that concept was kind of really new to me. But I was like, if I could have a television show and talk about all the people that jilted me over my life and make them feel bad that I have a television show, because she's obsessed with Oprah in the movie. That's kind of where it began. She's obsessed with Oprah. She films all of her Oprah episodes. She watches them on a VHS. And she's just like, that's her mental health. And so like when she wins this opportunity, she's just like, this is what I'm doing. I would check it out if you guys ever run across it. Some really good cast members in there too. Jennifer Jason Leigh's in it. She plays the and Joan Cusack's in it too. God, so good. She plays like the director of the show, and the studio that they're filming at is basically going out of business. The only way they're gonna survive is if they listen to this crazy lady. Real good time. Flamin' Hot, the Cheetos movie. That movie had been in production for a long time. I'm glad that they actually got to tell that story because it's a really awesome story. I think it's produced by Eva Longoria. I thought I knew her name until I tried to say it. She's like from Desperate Housewives and stuff, but she was like really, really proud to like get the rights of this movie because of the story. Sweet. So I've been seeing so many people watch Weapons and like reviews and stuff on YouTube. Everyone's seeming to have a great time. I'm not watching it again, watching a reviewer watch it. No, I will watch it again like when I'm ready to. But like they're just gonna go for all the jump scares, and I'm just like As much as I love that movie, like I'm letting it just like really set in before I'm like, let's watch it again. And also all of the pictures have the same character. And I'm like, you guys are spoiling so much. So much. And I don't want to see her just like randomly on my screen because like she's terrifying. I talked to my coworker about it too last week, and they really liked it. They got to see it over like Labor Day or whatever, and we talked about all the same parts that we really loved. And as I was talking about it, I got goosebumps. I love that about a movie. That's what art is supposed to be. So yeah, I'm back on the hunt. I just got some like real crappy news yesterday, so I got to change up a couple of like my doctors and stuff like that. People that I talked to. So I'm kind of back at square one. That really knocked me out of my place yesterday. I was shocked. A couple of you guys know what happened. I don't want to get into it really, but someone I really enjoyed in my life is leaving her practice and kind of leaving me just kind of out in the desert, man. So I just gotta find that camel, hop back on it. Yeah. Yeah, Eve, I'm just in a place where I opened up so much, and I was so happy to have someone that I could communicate with, like, on that level, that way. It's just gonna be hard to just, like, try to, like, start that back up. But it's worth it, you know. I have a saying, things shouldn't be easy, it should be worth it. Sometimes I think I know what it means, sometimes I think it's just a sentence. But in this situation, it's gonna be hard, but it'll be worth it. Yeah, Eve, like let's just jump into it. Like I don't know if you're talking about the same thing, but I don't want to use this as like a therapy session, but my therapist is leaving her practice. And so I either go with her new practice or start all over. And I've had to do this now a few times because of different things, therapist health and stuff like that. So just the act of just going through, like finding the right person again, being able to communicate the right way, and being able to be open with this person. The person I was working with, I had sessions with her, things I hadn't talked about in years, never even talked to a therapist about. So the fact that I'm losing that, man, I was just bummed out, and it still stinks. I mean, I'm talking about it, so like it's still on my mind. I reached out and I sent her a message. I just said, I just like a frowny face, honestly, because I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna look into following her, but if this happens once, you know, don't want to have the same thing happen again, basically. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, Eve, I'm sorry. I didn't think that you, for some reason I forgot that you saw that. It just sucks. It sucks. I made so much progress. I am in my dream job. Not that I dream of work at all, but like if I had to have a 9 to 5, I'm in it. I'm at the place where I want to be. And like she helped me get there, and she helped me get through all of Will's stuff, and she helped me get through the anniversary of my mom passing away. And I really opened up to her in these last couple sessions I had never done before. But to be honest, she kept canceling on me or moving me around. I had such an important session last week. It kind of stalled me in my tracks for a while because things I had never said out loud, things I'd only thought, never like communicate to a therapist at all. I was so comfortable with her I could, and now just like the idea of like refocusing and going through that, like no man. Again, thank you all for being here. I guess today's my therapy session. I'm just talking. But I appreciate everybody. Also, mental health is important. Talk to someone if you need it. I know it took me a long time to even think about it, but when I started doing it, everything started to change. I started to get better. And then sometimes it started to get worse, but the progression was upward. You know, Eve, and that's true. It is a business. You know, when I started working at an eye doctor's office in 2023, and up until that point, I thought doctors were not like us. I thought that for some reason, their fancy degree and the work that they do, for some reason that made them like metahuman or like not like us, but they totally are. They have their own issues. They go through their own stuff. They go through their own therapy. They don't show up for work. They come there drunk. I've not ever worked with a drunk doctor at all in my previous work, but just, you know, substance issues, possibly, stuff like that. And so, like, that really opened my mind up to just, like, oh, doctors' offices are a business, too. It's just not for you to be just taken care of. They want you to buy the prescriptions. They want you to do this, and this, especially an eye doctor office, where it's really kind of pushed to do both. You want to have the eye exam, but you also want to have the optical side of it. And that was like a real revelation to me. I don't know, I didn't grow up naive, but I just thought that doctors acted differently, or people who take care of people acted differently. But especially with therapists, I've had a few that just, they had to leave because health issues, family issues, stuff like that. But it has become a pattern. And I don't know if, I don't know anybody so I don't really know a lot of people in therapy to begin with, but I don't really know anybody who's had like a consistent person for like a year plus. And if you are able to have that, then that is such a blessing. Rome. And they just kind of like place you with someone. Like if you call for um, employment help or whatever, they kind of just like give you like someone to go with. They don't really like try to match you up as like, is this the type of conversations we can have? Is this not the type of conversations we can have? And yeah, but I'm not giving up because I know how important it is for me, and I know how important it is for my family, and how important it is for my job, to be able to have that outlet and to be able to just like open up about it. That looks fun. That looks like a. You guys remember the show Gargoyles? That animated show in the 90s? I love that. Haven't thought about it in a long time. Wow. Fox Kids, man. You guys remember Bobby's World? Don't you know? Like his mom. Oh, good stuff. Night, Bill. Thanks for stopping in. I'm gonna catch one of your lives soon. It's just that time of night on Saturday. Just like I just have not been able to like just hop on the internet. We've just been watching movies or just kind of keeping ourselves busy. Video games. I have some games I want to buy. I want to get Mortal Kombat 11, and then I want to get the it's like the game that came with our PS5. It's like Astrobot. Astro's Big Adventure. I want to buy that one too. Just have something to do after work. Eve, you know, like I totally understand. And I thought about sending her like a longer message about like, hey, you do realize like this is setting me back, and the things we just talked about, like that was monumental for me. Huge. And like for you just to send me in a message that this is ending. We were supposed to have a session this weekend, and a session that she moved again to this weekend. And I was, really looking forward to it, ready to go. Had a lot of stuff to say, and this is to hear that I'm just like, you're pulling back. You got me so far, but then like you just as a Rome. Not to get into it that much because I know it's personal for everybody, but like consistency with your doctors and therapists, like consistency is like I can't believe it. Like I was so shocked. Like the first time it happened, I was like, okay, like I understand, like family stuff, and then I took a long time. I took a long break in between, and then I found someone else. I really liked her, and then she walked away for health reasons. And then after that, I just stopped. I stopped trying to think about getting into therapy. Because I just was like, if I'm not digging through all of this stuff just to dig through it again. So that just the idea of just like opening yourself up and like having like just it is a relationship. You have a relationship with your therapist. Obviously should be platonic, but it is a true relationship. And so when you have that relationship end, like any good relationship, even if you're the one that ends the relationship, there should be a moment of just like, you can feel the loss. You can be okay that this is the choice that you made. But you also have to move on from it. But when you lose a therapist, it's like you also have to move on from losing that person, going into the idea that you're going to open up your heart and soul with someone else who could possibly just walk out the door. Like I've been fortunate enough, Jeff and I have been together for almost 18 years, but if for some reason like our relationship would end, I know that I don't think I'd be able to find another. because I wouldn't want to open up that door again. Yeah. So I'm just kind of at this point now. I'm just like, well, she was there for me as much as I needed her. I'm in my job, and I'm having some struggles, but pretty much getting through. And so maybe I'll just take a break for a while and just kind of really just Yeah, Ron, I saw that. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. Because you do, I like. There's a difference between a therapist and a friend, obviously, but I felt like there was a connection there, and and well, anyway, all right. I spent like 15 minutes on that, but thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for always coming back. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the comments, thanks for the subs and the shares and all that jazz. Oh, I do want to say, and shout out to whoever this person is, and here's your attention. I got my first like hate comment, and I felt so proud because I was like, oh my gosh, I've made it. I'm doing something so good, somebody hates it. I was like, look at me go, and I told my coworker, and they were like, oh my gosh, you are really famous now, and I was like, look at me go. Tweet, tweet. Yeah, like, have you ever heard of an algorithm? Like, thanks for the like, thanks for the share, thanks for the comment that I don't understand, but wonderful. Alright guys, I'm wrapping up here. If there's anything else to talk about, let me know. Been on for about an hour. Really happy to be here. Really enjoying these live streams. Really enjoying all this live stream community. You guys bring me life. Best thing to do is make with your hands, voices. So absolutely. And this week I have made some bomb songs. I've been in such a headspace. My writing has been so strong. Like a few of my songs I think are like the pinnacle of my songwriting right now. Like I look back at the songs I started with when I started first doing this like early spring, and they're good, but just I really found a different way to describe my voice and a different way to write songs that don't have to rhyme constantly, because I don't even like poems that rhyme really, but I get into a place where that rhythm just comes to me so naturally. I sent a couple over in some group chats. I'd say my favorite one I sent was oh my gosh, I think this is the last one I sent. I think was the one that like really hit the deepest for me, because I just love love the way the patterns and the there's a word for it when you write, but like the rhythm of the beginning. And of course I write the lyrics, I put it into AI, and then whatever voice comes out or music come out, and then we kind of go through them, we kind of decide what was the best fit for that song. Jeff helps me produce, so we'll talk about it. Lovingly, sometimes we'll get into like real artist producer fights, not fights, but just like conversations about what we think is the best for this lyric. What do we think is gonna do well? What not that I write for the public, but what could the public use right now? Like my Butterfly song, which is a complete wedding song. It's just like a song that you play before the bride walks down, like the song that you play when the bride and the father have their like moment before they walk out. I hope people are using that song for weddings. I don't think they are. I have no proof that they are. But like I made that song for the world. It's not my type of music, and it's not something I'd ever like listen to on repeat. But I want the world to use that because it's such a loving song. I wrote it for Jeff, about just like how solid he's been for me, and how now I feel so confident for him with my job, with having work. So the last couple ones I've just been bangers. I love them. And I find myself listening to my own, and I think to myself, like, does Taylor Swift ever sit down and listen to Karma and be like, yeah, Karma? But she has to, right? She has to. That gives her the confidence to keep writing her feelings and her lyrics. You. Oh man, no. Oh, that's. Hey man, joke about it. Talk about it. Joke about it. That made me laugh. Oh brother. Hi Lil. Lil, do you want to walk into frame? Do you want to say hi to everybody? You guys want to see kitties? All right. I'm about to wrap up anyway, so let's get some kitty views in here. Say hi. Say hi. That's Lil. If you haven't met her before, she's 5. She's wonderful. She was sick at the beginning of July. Put her in the pet ER. We did medicine time today. She is on the mend. She's getting stronger. More ornery by the day, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Gabby! Cabron! Gabbers! Okay, I don't know where my little boy is, but he's stinking cute. Whoops. Whoops. Lil's playing video games, yes. Such a little gamer. Such a cutie. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for stopping in. I really needed this today. And thank you guys for listening to me about my therapy and you guys chiming in and having... That was a really good talk because it just happened so frequently. I didn't know if this was happening to others the same way, but thank you, Ebe, thank you, Rome. Mike, guys, thank you for coming in. Jordan, Bill was in here. Probably going to try to do another live stream next weekend. I think the weekends are going to work out really good for me here. And I might have a topic next week, have some like structure. But maybe I just like talk and maybe we just go through movie stuff again and stuff that you like and music, and eventually I am going to play some of my my lyrics, some of the songs I've made on here, but I don't know. I'm sharing kind of step by step, day by day. But I hope you guys have a good rest of Sunday. Have some fun. Get some rest. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself too. Okay, let's wrap up another plate. Oh man, you guys are having such a good time in chat. I can't leave. Well, maybe not a good time, but at least you guys are chatting together. Thanks, Ebe. You guys, man, means the world. Sorry, guys, I got lost in chat for a second, just seeing what you guys are talking about. All right, guys, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Take care.